Be like that time when I was a young lad at a family party and I drank the
Oh, it's
wrong
called Happy
punch.
Dad. Happy Dad.
Happy dad.
Yeah,
A drunk dad's a happy dad.
that's right. Until he beats his children.
That happy dad had too many happy dads and became angry dad.
They don't have a drink for that. It's
That's
well,
just
maybe they
called
do. It's
whiskey.
just called whiskey.
Hello, America. It's time to check the nonsense at the door, clear the cobwebs between your ears, and have a rational-ish conversation. This is the lost art of common sense. That's right, America. I'm Josh.
And I'm Kevin.
And this is the lost art of common sense. And this week, we're going to discuss whether or not the world elite are the saviors or destroyers of the world. It's pretty epic entrance, I think.
I think so too, and I think I already know my answer.
Well, overall, Kevin, first question kind of leads in. What do you think when you hear the term world elite?
I would say psychopaths, sociopaths. I would say the elite are, and I wouldn't even put the 1%. I think the 1%, even in America, is over 250,000. And
yeah,
earnings.
Like 1% is, you're not like,
it's like the 0.0001% of America, and I think that 0.0001% controls 90% of just everything. And I think the exceptions of a few, I would say, I think the world's richest man, Elon Musk, would not be part of this. I don't think he's I think he's like apolitical. I don't think he's out for to control like I don't think he's out for control. I think he's out for the betterment of humanity and actually trying to help humanity like survive. I think the rest of them are trying to pretty much just keep the power.
much of sociopathic assholes.
Yes. I think there's like a few and far between that are actually good. Like actually care about belief and like care about humanity and not themselves.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think everything Elon Musk does, even though, so I recently, well, by recently I mean yesterday, rewatched the movie Transcendence. Have you ever seen that with Johnny Depp?
Yes.
Not only is Elon Musk in that movie, and I don't know if I remember hearing him saying it, but I'm pretty sure Depp crafted his character off of Elon Musk.
I'm sure he did.
Because he does seem very Elon Musky. I mean,
Yeah.
where he's not a bad guy. He's doing shit that's kind of questionable. Because Elon Musk wants to probe your brain.
Yes, he's doing stuff that he thinks will like help you. He thinks it'll better humanity, but it turns out
into
that
a bunch of drones.
Yeah, but it ends up that it's the thing where to sacrifice a few to save the many, but eventually the few become the many.
That was true. That sounded epic.
Yeah, that's a little, I don't know, philosophical, Kevin. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like you read that in a bathroom or something.
I take a shit a lot. I might have read it out of stall. I don't know.
Sometimes I go to the most questionable gas stations to pinch a loaf just so I can read all the words of wisdom on the walls.
Yes.
The shadier there is, the more the wisdom.
You get wisdom in crabs. So that's the great thing about Watkins.
Remember that, kids. You can get crabs from a toilet seat. The more you know. I don't even know if that's true.
I don't either, but I'm pretty sure.
It would make sense.
I've seen a bunch of movies where it's like, oh no, I got them from the toilet seat. Well,
yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would agree that cheaters. Though. I think when I hear world elite, it does not. It's not like, oh yeah, they're the best of us.
Yeah,
they're a bunch of assholes.
That's what everybody thinks when they think of the elite. Assholes.
So, I mean, you kind of alluded to it in your answer, but do these people care about like the planet and the people, or is it just all about power and control?
Obviously, again, it's about power. They don't give a shit about people. They don't give a shit about the planet. Most of these people, like most of these, I would say, like climate people, all this stuff. The climate, this whole, uh, what is it called? The Pride movement, all this stuff. All these elite people are doing this. They're not doing it for uh, anything but power. What they want to do is control the people and to make them feel like put a sense of security in the belief of the elite are helping them when actually they are not. They're just trying to make sheep of people. And so yeah, no, it's about power. This you can tell this by just the climate activism that is happening about now they want to go after agriculture and reduce agriculture by 30% around the world, which will pretty much kill off, I think, like half the world's population. So, all in the name of climate change. These people are psychopaths. They don't care who they kill, and it's not the rich or even um, the 1%, the 10%. It's going to be the bottom 40-50% that are going to be harmed the most, which is most of the world.
Yeah, pretty sure we fall into that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't want to starve.
No,
I can't afford beans right now, let
I
alone,
enjoy being a husky.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, I
You can buy fake meat.
yeah, fuck that.
So, yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Like, you look at this like Beyond Meat bullshit, or what do they call that? Whatever the stupid Whopper is that nobody buys.
What
That
the hell
like
is that called?
so
The Wonderful Whopper or
simultaneously,
the Ultimate Whopper or the. I can't
stupid
remember.
Whopper. That's what I
Yeah.
call it. The stupid Whopper.
Remember when they had like the green Whopper where it was like a green bun?
That's even dumber because I think they did, and it was horrible. Or the dye turned
No, just
everybody's
the.
mouth
It was
green.
just weird because who wants a look moldy looking bread?
Oh, that looks hellaciously appetizing. I'm gonna take 4 of those. But like, okay, so there's like a double whammy here. So they don't want to get rid of meat, like real meat, like man's meat.
Man meat.
I'm not recanting. I'm just gonna keep going. Uh, but they don't want to get rid of that because it's unhealthy or any of this other shit. Because there's more and more data coming out that red meat's actually like better for you than most other things. It's all about climate, like too many cow farts. But then they also say that the reason why people are so fat and like sick all the time, how we have so much diabetes and shit, is because of all the processed food. Well, how processed do you think you have to make a patty to taste like meat, red meat, when there's no fucking red meat in it? That is like the most processed food you can have. And I'm pretty sure the replacement meat is made out of bugs.
Yes, like cockroaches and grasshoppers and
Yeah.
gross cicadas and.
Well, I know who won't be eating those.
Oh, I
The
won't either.
assholes making us eat them.
I I mean, they might make you because that might be all that's left.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that's why they're doing. That's
Well,
why
Josh,
things are.
don't you know that cow farts is what's destroying the Earth's ozone?
You know, it's funny. Unless their farts don't smell, I live around a shit ton of cattle, and it's not their farts that I smell every now and again. It's the horrendous amount of shit from the feedlots.
Yeah, isn't that it?
Oh
The cow
no,
farts, right? That's what's they
it's just
say.
a giant quaff of cow
Isn't
fart.
that what they say? Is it the farts? I mean, I don't think it's the poop, right?
No, it's the farts. It's the
No.
methane from their farts.
Which I don't know how many cattle are there in the U.S. You think billions,
Millions.
millions, or billions?
That wouldn't be billions, millions.
So less than humans.
Yeah.
So wouldn't humans be the most? I
Well,
know how much I fart.
I've heard a lot.
Yeah.
They're gonna start. Well, that's why they have charcoal lined pantaloons now.
So you fart in front of your significant other.
I don't know if that necessarily stops a fart as much as it absorbs the smell.
How
But
far does it absorb? Like, if you could shit your pants, would it absorb that smell or no?
well, as long as the charcoal's still good, technically, yes.
Sir, your backside's all brown, but I smell nothing. I don't. What happened? Did you sit in a mud puddle? Why, yes, I did.
It's like, what's up with that brick in your pants? Oh, it's a chunk of charcoal. I ate some questionable stuff, but it was on sale, so
I just put
fucking
some
two
Kings
for
for.
one gas station sushi.
So I just put some Kings for charcoal bricks in my fucking underwear.
They're very dense. They work well. Yeah. Well, okay. So, do you think these elite, which I don't think that's the right word, because they're not elite, they're assholes.
Oh, they're
Do
elite
you think
assholes.
they would do, or do you think they do, or would purposely hold back advancements in technology in order to keep and or gain more power?
Absolutely, these people are assholes. Um, yeah, I absolutely think they would do whatever they could to make sure they make money. If there's going to be something that can go against their money making schemes, any kind of advancement, unless they put it out there. And what I think a lot of times what they do is they have these things like, let's say something comes out, some kind of some kind of a patent or some kind of invention that comes out. They'll buy up that invention, then they'll probably dumb it down um, to where they can somehow make money off of it. That's how I would think they would do it. To where it's technology, it's an advancement, but it's a minimal advancement, and people will just gobble that shit up.
Well, I think
I would.
that's why there's a slow creep on like cancer treatment and shit.
Oh, absolutely. There's probably a cure for cancer out there somewhere. That's somebody bought a
Yeah,
patent
the only
to.
thing, like, somebody hit me with this, and it kind of makes sense, but and it, it falls into the elites. They say anytime there's a conspiracy theory on stuff like cure for cancer, stuff like that, unless they're going to like some weird island of Dr. Monroe, they say give it the rich person test. So if there was a cure for cancer, no super rich people would be dying of cancer because they would just pay for the
When
cure.
when is the
But
last time you saw it?
Rush Limbaugh,
I don't think he was super
he's rich as
rich.
shit. He's not super rich.
Mm,
What about
I don't think that's
dude?
rich enough.
What about the Apple dude,
Did he die from
Steve
cancer?
Jobs? Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. I didn't know he
Patrick
died from
Swayze.
cancer. Patrick Swayze's not elite. I mean, people from Hollywood die all the time. That's because no one
He's
can
not super
understand.
rich,
No
but
one can stand their smugness. Not even the elite.
Patrick Swayze was
But
not smug.
maybe Steve
He's an
Jobs was an
American
asshole.
jewel.
I heard Steve Jobs was an asshole. Maybe he's an asshole to people that were super elite. They wouldn't give him the
It
cure.
could have been. Yeah, but I wouldn't be
Um,
surprised if there was. I
I guess
guess.
that's the only young person or youngish person I know that has died from cancer. That's super elite. Everybody else, people have died like when they're 80s from being like having cancer and stuff, but I would think by then you just want to die. Or maybe you're having your body has been, your consciousness has been downloaded into a computer.
Well, that's true. That's probably it. That's what Elon wants to do. Well, and they say if you live long enough, everyone will get cancer sooner or later.
Yeah, eventually your body just can't fight the cancer cells that are already in your body.
I mean, they think through modern technology and stuff, people, not like future technology, people probably could live to be, 120, 30, 40,
Why would you want to
whatever.
though?
Well, it depends on what your quality of life is. If it's some kind of gene therapy you're taking that actually keeps you young, like say we're like we are now, but 80.
I don't
It's
know. I
not too
still
bad.
hurt a lot. I don't know. I still
Well,
hurt a lot.
that's because of dumb mistakes on your side. If they had that kind of technology,
Well,
Kevin,
it's not like I want to stop making dumb mistakes. I'm just going.
But the thing is, though, if you were 80 and you were in the same condition you are now, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say they could probably fix your back
Yeah, probably.
or make you a robot.
Yeah.
Maybe you have like you know.
Oh,
But
why not
they
Kevin?
say like at some point they'll like no one will ever live forever. Like even if they extended it, instead of dying of disease or some fucked up shit, you would just like die in your sleep. Unless you like, you would have to like literally replace everything in your body. I think, but that's an interesting topic. We'd have to look more into that, but that could be another show topic. The reason I ask these questions are on account of watching the new Dr. Greer documentary that we brought up in our first episode. That I don't know if we got drunk or just weren't paying attention, but that was all over the place, and it got me thinking: what if the climate people, along with the world elite, are what they're saying is true? If what they're saying is true, so let's say the world is going to end, why would they hold back technology that, you know, just to make power and money? Like if you're just it doesn't, that's what I'm trying to wrap my head around, because if what they're saying is true, the world's going to, like, after 15 years, that's what they said in the documentary, after 15 years we get past the turning point to where we can't ever bring it back, and then they simultaneously have an environmental dude. Yeah, but you can't discount the power of life. And then they kind of point out where, general life. So like if you leave a civilization unattended or maintained for 10 years, it's going to be overgrown like crazy. But if that's true, why would they hold back technology just for power and money? Because, like, okay, everyone's going to be dead in 100 years, possibly less. What do you think their end game is? I mean, seriously, we kind of, I don't know if we touched on the show or we have such a long
Well, I mean,
dicking
we're not
around
going to
before
end
we
in 100
started.
years. I mean, this is all a ploy. It's all a
I'm
ploy
just
to.
saying. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, I think. Well, who's buying into this? Morons. Um, let's say the world wasn't going to end in 100 years. Let's
But
say
you
by
have to go off the
flooding.
premise that the world is going to end.
Why would you? Why would they? What?
Why would you hold
What?
back technology that could stop that from happening? Just for more power and
Because
money?
you're an
Like, you're
asshole.
that narcissistic? Like,
Yes, because they're sociopaths and psychopaths. If it was actually going to end, which I don't believe it will, if it was actually going to end, let's go on the premise it's actually going to end in 100 years. We know from just actual studies that, weren't corrupted by the elite, that the world was going to end in 100 years. Let's just say that's absolutely 100% true. Let's say even an asteroid is going to hit us in 100 years for sure. There's nothing we can do to stop it.
solar
Why would they
panels.
hold it back? Yeah. Why would they not want to give us the technology to, like, better our lives or to fucking help it to not happen? Because they're assholes and they have some kind of end game, some kind of way that they have a way to escape that they don't want the commoner to escape with them. Some way to that would be the reason, is because they have a way to get out of it and they don't want everybody else to get out of it.
Well,
That'd be their end game.
that's what I think is weird about it, because, like, even if, like, say, so if the planet's actually going to end, you're either going to have to live underground in some bunker, or so you're either going to be dead or you leave the planet. And what the fuck does your money mean in space? I mean,
Well, it
that's,
doesn't. It's not. I don't think it's really the money. Then I think it's more the fact that they don't want fucking Joe Schmo
they
fucking
don't want
going with them.
pores up in space.
Yeah, they don't. They don't want the pores clouding their. What is that fucking? What's that one movie, Elysium or whatever, where the world's like shit down below, and then they like have their elite area up top. That's
The
kind of what it
elite
would be like.
donut.
Yeah, that'd kind of be what it's like, only, they'd probably have poor people with them, or like, what, not poor, but, qualified people to get them there. But
I believe the term you're
the
looking for
black
is
government,
indentured servitude.
yeah, basically. But hey, you get to live, but you have to be our plumber. So you
It's like,
basically
well, I don't
don't.
know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'll take a look at your shooter.
Yeah, I'll shitter's clog Clark.
While we're all
Yeah.
down here on Earth with an arm growing out of our head, which comes in
Yeah.
super handy for itching my back. So
So
I'm
I
going to
mean,
chalk that
it's
up as a win.
basically they just don't want the porters with them. So that'd be the reason.
Yeah, that's what I couldn't
Wherever
figure
they're
out
going, if it's
because
off planet, underground, they don't believe they have the room for the whole planet, or they just don't want to have people with them. Which I mean, I understand people suck, but I don't want everybody to
I
die.
mean,
So
they kind of do, but that's not a death sentence being a stupid human being. Um, yeah, I mean, I know you haven't watched the film yet, so I'll just give a quick breakdown for all of our listeners. It's called The Lost Century, I think. And basically, what it's about is it's Dr. Greer. He's talking about, he discusses in the first part of the movie that basically the environment is pretty well fucked. And he was saying that we have about 15 years to turn it around. But what they were saying in it is both sides are right. In order to keep our current system going, we need to drill for more oil and gas. And then the environmental people are right as far as according to the film that the earth is going to shit and we need to do something, but they're wrong in the how they're going to fix it. Um, so they kind of go through. Basically, we've known about this thing. We called it something else in the first episode, but now I guess it's called 0 point energy field, and it taps into this emptiness in space where I guess energy comes from multiverse. I don't know. It's a bunch of weird shit. But since the 20s, Nikola Tesla had discovered this. Like we've known about this. That's why they call it the lost century. We've known about this since at least the 1920s, as far as this energy source or energy field. And then they go on to talk about the different patents and stuff like that. Um, all the different inventions that came out. They also said apparently we've known about gravitational drive since like the 1940s, but whatever. That's kind of the rundown of it. It's a watch. I didn't learn anything I didn't really already know. Some of the inventions were kind of cool, but now that we've kind of brought you up on the episode, you've heard of these stories, right? About an inventor discovering ways to generate more output than what the input is, and then miraculously they wound up dead, right? You've heard of that. You've heard some of these stories. Uh, do you think there's anything to do that, or do you think it's like lore, or do you think like they're actually like these inventors? Because there was a lot of apparently people that have figured this shit out. They're all electrical engineers and shit working in their garage, but like the one box I told you, it takes zero 0.3 milliamps to start it, and then it can output up to like 250,000 watts or some shit. Um, do you think like these people have actually like done that? And like, because they invent something like that, granted you should make a shit ton of money. I mean that's world changing technology. But then they try to patent it and they end up getting Clinton. So I mean, do you think that shit's actually happened? Like
suicided.
suicided,
Yes,
more
Clinton,
affectionately called
whatever.
Clinton. Like, could you see it? Even though you didn't see the movie, could you see that we've actually had technology like this since
Oh, absolutely.
you know?
What it is I think it would be they buy it up, and because it's too much of a change, you can't make. Although I think gas and gas and whatever, what do you call it, natural gas, coal power, all that stuff.
That was a hard
I
one.
think it's better
Natural
than
gas and
solar and
gas.
wind. Yeah, so I think it's
Well,
better
as
than
far as
solar and wind.
output,
Yeah, so I think and for electric cars versus fuel cars, I think fuel cars are way better even by carbon footprint. What we can't do is make all these gas companies, these electric companies, these car companies. You can't make them all go broke at once. Um,
electric companies, electric cars, you wouldn't need the batteries, but electric cars actually wouldn't be going out of business.
well,
Neither,
there's be a
according to these inventors in Houston, working on a moped that runs on water, but it does require a small amount of gas, basically to keep the engine from hydrolocking, because you can't just run straight water into it. but
I
they're running it
guarantee.
off of
I
water,
mean, I
supposedly.
guarantee they. Okay, well, I mean, I guarantee that you'll never hear this again, though.
What are you talking about? It's
It's
in the
one.
documentary in
Okay, well, I'm
Houston.
saying like I've seen all kinds of things where like kids invent, like a kid will invent something that'll, that cleans the fucking water, cleans or something that's just water based type engine. Then you never hear of it again because somebody buys up the patent and won't release it.
Then they had
What
them
you
to shelf
do,
it.
yeah, then you never hear of it again, and everybody just forgets about it. Yes, people buy these patents up and won't let them come out because it affects too many people. It affects too many large businesses to where they're not going to allow these things. So yes, it happens all the time. And what movie am I thinking? Men in Black. They always said they buy up these patents for all these inventions.
Yeah, and then those assholes use them.
Yeah, they use them supposedly to protect the or Earth, whatever. But there's a lot of things that uh, it's in the interest of humanity, but not in the interest of the elite. And I
Well, yeah,
mean, as
everybody,
much
and
as
I
I
get.
am a Republican, um, I would absolutely be a something else. I'm not going to say like a socialist or anything, but if something
I
could
would hope not.
absolutely,
That's horrible.
yeah. Well, I mean, something that could better humanity and take away, that would at least make my life cheaper and everybody else's life cheaper, and maybe peg down a oil tycoon, notch or two. I would absolutely be for that. But they're the oil tycoon or the interest of the government could, you know, I just think the money's not there. So why would they do it? And that's it. I mean,
Yeah,
it's all
I
about
mean,
money right now.
well, that's what that Dr. Greer guy at the end of the video, like the new thing that he's building a big research facility on developing this stuff, and then the one thing that makes it seem like, so you believe that these devices have existed.
I believe they probably existed I believe, I mean, I think you were talking about beforehand. I mean, you might bring it up now, or a little later, but Tesla had tapped into energy just from the earth, the earth and the ground. And, there's a
Yeah, there
huge
was
amount of
one invention
energy.
where the guy didn't require any input at all. It was a magnesium coated plates, and I guess you tune them to the Earth's magnetic field, and then they generate electricity. And then that guy didn't want to give up his shit, and he got
Clinton.
suicided. Clinton. See how we go back and
Yeah.
forth? That's our good team, Kevin.
Yeah. So, yeah, I
Oh,
mean, there's all
just by the way, the reason why I was laughing earlier is I don't think the saying is pegged him down a notch. I think the saying is knock him down a peg or two. You just pegged that motherfucker down a notch or two.
I don't know what the saying is.
It's just like, what?
I don't know,
So
man. Um,
that's what I was laughing at. I was
yeah,
like, I don't think that's right.
I don't think it's
It's
right
like,
either
yeah, you
now.
jab them in the face with a peg,
Yeah,
and then they fall
yeah,
down.
exactly.
Why
So,
the hell did you hit him in
um,
the face with that?
gotta peg them down a notch or two. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I think yeah, absolutely it happens. It's people suck. They want to make money. I mean, I want to make money too.
Oh, if I
Obviously,
invented something like that, I would definitely. I mean, your natural tendency is like, holy
I don't know.
fuck,
I
I'm going
would
to be
almost
super
open
rich.
source it. Why not? I mean, if you
Well,
know
it's
you're either
like,
going to die or
yeah, I mean, based on the track record, you either are like, well, I can be super rich or super dead, or super rich
if
or super
something
dead if you
happened
go
like
that
that,
route.
and what I would do is maybe like I don't know if I was smart enough. Like if I don't click on a fucking button every fucking 2 days on my computer, then it just goes out. I don't know if that's a real thing. I'm not a computer person, so like it would just go out to the web, open source it.
Yeah, I
Like in
think,
case I got
well,
Clinton.
that would be a smart way to doing it. Yeah. But that's what that's the only thing that kind of makes it seem legitimate is like now if they actually develop it and do that. But that's the whole his whole research facility is about if they discover it and can perfect it, it's just going to be open source to the world. So they're not going to be able to containerize it because the government has people at the patent office that
Maybe.
are
I mean,
only
where's
there.
this? Is this place in America?
Yeah.
Because if it is, then weirdly, accidents happen even in facilities.
Yeah. Apparently that dude's got a lot of private security though.
Weirdly, 100 tons of ammonium nitrate went missing. So I'm just saying.
But that actually happened.
Yes.
Oh, that's a little scary.
Yes.
It's a little scary, Kevin.
So yeah, I mean,
Well,
I'm just saying, like, nothing's actually protected if you live in anywhere but a private island.
yeah, but if you keep, well, here's the thing though. His facility is going to have cameras live streaming to the internet 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah, but there's always
I'm just
ways.
saying, like, that's the way he set it up. Like, apparently this
I don't
guy's
know
had,
how much movies tell me like things are real, but you know, you
this
can't
isn't a
like it.
movie.
You
This
just
is, this
loop
is a
it.
documentary.
Well, I'm just saying, like, how many times like movies are real to where you can like loop
Well,
a
yeah, if he's a
video.
scam artist or something. I'm just saying,
No, I'm just saying like the
supposedly this guy's
government
had a
loops
lot of
their
influence.
like taps into their feed and loops. You see that all the time in movies where they just loop
It's
the
like, what the
feed.
hell is. Yeah, what happens is you end up tapping the loop where a guy goes to raise his hand at just the right angle.
So some
And it
guy
gets all
pissing on the fence
jittery.
for 8 hours. Like, why is
Uh,
that guy peeing outside for 8 hours? That guy's got a big bladder.
yeah, but supposedly that's one of the security things they'll do is like once it's up and running, the facility, like everything is just live streamed 24 hours a day,
And it
7 days a
should
week.
be.
And
I
I'm
mean,
sure there's going to be plenty of people just
oh, I'm sure.
watching.
Enough.
Okay, well then this will be interesting. So let's say that somebody, because apparently there's a lot of people that have these designs. Apparently, it doesn't seem like that hard to build because there's been a hand. Like this seems like something like you're touched by God to be like, "Yep, you invent it." But it seems like a decent amount of people have kind of figured this shit out. But let's say they do, okay, and everybody gets a 0 point energy field conductor, or whatever the fuck they're called. What do you think would happen, if these, devices capable of making endless free energy were ever actually open source and shared with the world? Like, how do you think? So let's say it's been perfected, plans are made,
And built.
open sourced. What do you think comes next? Like, what do
Somebody
you think
built
that's
it.
going to do to our
Somebody built it and
normal
sells it.
world society?
I don't think really it would, I mean, I think it'd be better. I think for everybody. I mean, you think people in Africa don't want free energy? You think I want free energy. I think other than a few people who will be hurt on the stocks, obviously oil and gas and like oil companies will crash. Anything that's any kind of energy stocks and bonds will crash for sure if this is made readily available and relatively cheap. It'll crash. I don't know how much. I mean, obviously, oil still has some benefits because everything's still made out of plastic. So petroleum still is a need. So there's still plastics that are still in
Yeah, I don't know
use.
how you get around that because I don't think, is there an alternative to plastic? Is there plastic without petroleum in it?
No,
I mean, I don't
I
know,
don't
but
think.
I do know that people don't realize how much shit petroleum's in.
Yeah, I mean
It's like
tires. I
everything.
think rubber. I think rubber has petroleum in it. Yeah. So I mean, petroleum is still a need, but I mean, obviously, the main use is for
If you
power
remove
and
the need
fuel.
for petroleum as far as like a fuel source for propulsion and no matter what, that's cutting
What
it
is it
back
like $80 a
huge.
barrel right now? I don't know what oil prices are right now,
I know it's
but I
going
would
up.
guess I would guess it probably dropped to $10-15 a barrel.
It'd be next to nothing. And it'd only be for uh, other stuff. But the reason why they
Plastics,
don't do
rubber.
salinization, like, you have people that have droughts and lack drinking water because they intentionally keep the countries that are poor as shit supposedly are intentionally kept that way because you can't modernize the entire world because we don't have the resources in order to sustain that. So there are
Well,
people
they
in this
say we
world that
don't.
are, well, no, I'm talking about with what we use now,
Yeah,
like
okay,
with
right. With
today's.
that, I'm just saying we probably do have technologies that could help the
Well,
world
yeah, I
with
get
these
that.
things.
I'm talking about oil and gas. Like if the entire world was modernized, gas would be like $50 a gallon. So these elites intentionally keep like over half the planet poor to sustain their way of life. I mean, because that's what I was kind of looking at with that question is, I mean, you're costing now. Granted, I would think that the people that work in oil and gas and shit now could be moved over into setting up these generators because the way this guy's saying is you'd have
Well,
one
now you sound
generator.
like them. Now you sound like a Democrat said, "Oh,
No,
them
it's
cool
still
people can
the
just move
energy
over
sector.
to."
No,
Well,
he
they
said
can move to
computer
wind.
program. Hey,
Oh yeah,
coworker, go write code.
yeah, that's right. That's right. He said. I thought he said
No, it's
they could
still
work
the
on.
energy sector. But what I'm saying is like, I mean, you got to think that impact would be fucking huge because they're talking about free energy, period. Like, yeah, you're going to be able to have water anywhere because the reason why they don't turn salt water into fresh water is because it's expensive. You know why it's expensive? Because it takes a
Because the
lot of
power
energy.
to, yeah, I mean, the desalinization process isn't that hard. It just takes a lot of energy to do it.
Yeah, unless you do it like the old Mr. Science way, where you put foil in a box and fill with dirty water and put a mug in the middle with saran wrap and a rock. That's all you need. The fuck? How hard is that?
Is that a real thing?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Mr. Wizard. Who was the science dude when you were a kid? Not Bill Nye the
Wasn't it Bill?
douche bow tie guy.
It might have been Mr. Wizard. I don't know.
I think it was Mr. Wizard. He was an
I don't
actual
know,
like he
man.
was like an actual science teacher. No, if you let's say you have dirty drinking water. Okay, you have dirty water. If you have let's say a plastic toe because it's got to be able to hold water, you put foil shiny side up in the bottom of it. You take your gross ass water, put it in there. You set a mug up above the water, like on a brick or something, and then you cover the box with saran wrap and you put a rock right over the middle of the mug. And when the sun
Oh,
hits
because
it,
of
it
yeah,
creates
because of
vapor.
yep, because of
You're
what
basically drinking distilled water, is what you're drinking. Thank you,
yeah,
Mr. Wizard. Fuck you, Bill
yeah.
Nye. I hate you.
All you need is like saran wrap, some tinfoil, and a mug and a bucket.
Yeah. I don't remember. Maybe Bill Nye did do that, but he stole it from Mr. Wizard. I do not like Bill Nye.
I don't either. Wasn't he like a
I think
fucking
he's the enemy of
let?
the show.
Is he like a let? I don't know. There's a lot of enemies of the show.
There's a lot of horrible people in this world, and he ranks right up there for me.
Jesus Christ. I
I
am.
just,
I like him.
but like, it's like, I think it would be earth shattering, you know?
It would be earth
It's,
shattering.
everything would be cheaper. It'd be cool. But,
There'd be a lot
to
less.
round,
There'd be a lot less
huh?
death in the world. I think. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think, and that's a
Which would be
problem.
another
Is
kick
these?
to the nuts for the elites because they're all about killing
Yeah,
people off.
they are. So, uh, yeah, we'll get into that some other time. About
But I don't know, like that would be such a game changer though. Would the worries about overpopulation still stand? Because if you have free energy, everything costs less. The majority of anything, building a building, farming, anything, the majority cost of that, other than straight labor, is your energy cost. Because when you build something, you have to have the energy to make it, the raw material, energy to ship it. Then they got to ship it again, and then it gets shipped again to the job site, and then you have the energy to actually do the stuff. Like energy costs literally control energy and labor, two biggest
yeah, I
costs
mean, you
in
could
the
have electric
world.
vehicles that are powered for nothing.
Yeah. Well, there's
I
a
mean,
guy that actually came up with a way of, he came up with a solar panel interstate, and basically it will work like a wireless charger for your
yeah, I
phone.
saw that.
Or
I saw that on walkways. Like, there's a sidewalk in I think maybe Singapore that's solar paneled and it powers like all the street lights and uh, I think it actually charges like electric mopeds or whatever. Like you just plug it into certain ports in the sidewalk and it'll fucking charge
I
your
think
little
those will be
moped
fun.
thing. Yeah.
I'm
So
not gonna
I
lie,
think
electric engine or electric motors, They're all torque. I mean, they're
Yeah,
fun.
I think
So
Tesla just broke the world's like speed record for start off whatever like 0.60 or 0 to 60.
well, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. And then you wouldn't need the battery. The most expensive part, from my understanding, or one of the most expensive parts about an electric car is a fucking battery.
Yeah, and I don't know how you get around that though, because you still need to build the battery. So there's still going to be a carbon cost to everything.
That was another thing about the delete thing, these elite things, and like, and I did want to ask you about it. It wasn't in the questions, but I'm going to ask you about it now because you're kind of talking about Kevin. I want to lead you. I want to lead you in the conversation because I'm the host this week. Damn it. Um,
Okay, I'm willing
so,
to answer this question.
but think about it. They're attacking the energy grid. Okay, so they don't want you to use gas, oil, coal, natural gas. They're against nuclear, which nuclear is clean energy as far as like as you're making it, but really all you're doing is making a shit ton of extremely deadly waste that's gonna stick around for about a million years to boil water. But they're attacking all of that. Their replacement is subpar. We've already seen that, and then they're trying to switch everybody over to electric everything. Like, what the fuck? How does everybody see, like, huh? They're attacking the energy grid to where they can't power everything, and yet they want everybody to switch over to electricity. Do you think that's just a control play, like comply or die?
I think people don't look enough into these things or even think about what these electric vehicles are or all this electric stuff is. They don't look beyond the electric part. So they think they're saving the planet when they are actually just they're not doing anything. You still got your power plants, you still got your everything else. So what all these people are doing is just relying on people being dumb as shit, and it's working. Um,
Good luck. We got that in spades.
yeah, so people are dumb, and I mean that's basically it. So they're attacking it, and they're making you go over to an electric grid that they're attacking because they assume that you're not going to realize they're attacking the grid that's actually powering the thing that you have to buy. So uh, they're just trying to fucking. It's just another way. Yes, control. It's just another way to control you because eventually the government will get into the power. You know, I think somehow they're going to try to worm their way into the power grid. And
Yeah, it just that boggles my mind. People are like, "Yeah, we need to attack this, and we need to get everybody in an electric car." I'm like, "Do you morons not see the scale here?" It's like, "Oh, energy." Like, "Oh, we're getting less energy, get more electric cars."
what'll happen
That
is
shit
everything will go to
requires
electric cars,
balance.
and the government will be like, "Hey, you can only charge your vehicle from 3 to 6 if you're in this income. From like, you only charge it for 3 hours on this income, 2 hours on this income, or they'll charge you per minute per charging for your vehicle. There's somehow they're going to make money or fuck you over on doing this, and
Well, and I
people
don't
are going
know
to be
if
like,
there's income based, but they're already doing that in California.
"There's going to be a tax on it. It'll be a tax on every minute that you charge your vehicle.
Yeah, so well, that's another thing. Like, you get rid. Like, I think that
It'll be a
if
government tax. It's not going to be a tax from the actual energy company, but it'll be a government tax because you're
if
putting
they're,
a burden on the grid, which is, you know, I don't know,
I thought they
somehow.
were talking about doing that in California with hybrids because
They
like
probably
everyone
absolutely
bought a
are.
hybrid, so they're losing all this gas tax, so they're going to start taxing you per mile.
Yeah, vote Gavin Newsom for president if you want your country to die.
Yeah. Well, to round things out, let's talk about one of our favorite subject: aliens.
Aliens!
That's right, motherfucking aliens. Because the second half of that
Motherfucking
documentary
aliens!
was about aliens. So we have a whistleblower that recently came out that was out on the first episode of Tucker on Twitter. Apparently, they checked him out. His background, I did not know. I don't know if you know who Matt Walsh is. He's a big alien guy. He's super into that. And everybody thinks, oh, because a lot of Christians are like, a lot of hardcore Christians, like, there can't be aliens. We're the only ones. That the
That doesn't
Bible
even make
is,
sense.
no, well, the Bible is basically a book meant for us on earth. That's kind of the way he said it. The Bible is a guide on earth, to living on earth. It's not like you think, like I've said it before, you think God made this vast cosmos and we're the only things. Like, well, aren't you considered? Enjoy your privilege. Yeah. I got some coastal land to sell you in Nevada. But you have the whistleblower, then you got Dr. Greer doubling down on the fact that, apparently, like they said, we understood gravity propulsion since the 40s. So, and that's they're basically what he's saying is a lot of these crafts, kind of we've said it before, are man-made. I mean, what are your thoughts on all this? Because I'm kind of thinking that by the end of the year, they will come out with definitive proof and say, yes, we are not alone.
I guarantee it'll happen right before. I don't know it'll happen this year. I think it'll happen next year during the election cycle, because I think somehow the Democrats are going to try to spin this on.
There's aliens. Vote for us.
Yeah, something
we'll
like that.
We'll turn them all into.
We got the illegal ones. Now we got the ones from space. So aliens for everyone. So it'll be. I don't think we're too far off from. Obviously, when they released all those documents about UFOs, 2 years ago? 3 years ago? During the Trump administration, I think 2020, 2019, something like that. 2020? It was during COVID, so 2020. So then they had that. Now you have this guy talking about how there's alien vehicles, how we've been reverse engineering them. And there's actually alien life forms that are, I don't know if they're still alive or they're dead. I don't know.
One person said they were living among us, but I don't think that's the same guy.
No, it's not the same guy. There's one.
Oh guy no, that was the college professor.
Yeah, the college professor from Stanford, I think, said that there's 100%. It's 100%. He thinks it's 100% true that aliens are here and living among us. So,
I believe it.
People. So, yes, I believe for sure that there's been aliens. I believe that we've been reverse engineering this. I believe a lot of those were the black TikTok thing or Tic Tac things. I think
they're white,
a lot of
Kevin.
I think they're black Tic Tacs, aren't they?
No.
I believe they are.
I'm pretty sure I've never heard anyone say they're black Tic Tacs.
They look black in the videos.
Then they would call them jelly beans. They wouldn't call them Tic Tacs.
But they're shaped
when the fuck have you ever seen a black Tic Tac?
I don't know. I'm sure they have black licorice Tic Tacs. People are weird. They like gross things.
What?
Who knows,
jelly
man?
Beans. Hi, you see that there flying jelly bean? Oh, man, that thing is fast, man. I'm telling you. The black jelly bean, it hit Utah, and that took a 9-degree sharp turn.
I'm guaranteeing you that. I thought they called them, the Tic Tac things. But
yeah, they never said black Tic Tac.
That's because they always show up black in the videos. So I just assumed.
Everything I've seen is white or chrome.
I've seen black.
Black would make sense if you're flying around at night, though, because then you couldn't see it.
I've seen black. I've seen black on the
Those are the triangles.
No.
Are you talking about the radar screen?
No.
So they're black all there.
It was like a plane that was trying to track it, like a Air Force jet, and it was right there. Then it just took off.
Yeah, apparently they all have like little nozzles that come out of like the Jetsons, except for they're on the top and not the bottom. So like the back of the black Tic Tac would be like, say this is the black Tic Tac, see, but this is like the black donut hole. And it'd be like, they come out the back like this. So for our blind listeners, I'm making my finger stick out of the back of it looks kind of like a bunny, but this is the black donut hole Tic Tac spaceship. But they have these weird things out of the background.
There's absolutely 100% true that I think there's aliens either have crash landed, living among us. I mean, there's something that has to do with other life that has come to our planet at some point, and we've recovered it. I have no doubt about it. There's just too much evidence right now to say it hasn't happened.
Well, and I think I don't think we're going to have enough time for general discussion, but So there was one part of the documentary that kind of made me think that the whole rest of the documentary was pointless. Because there's a story from 1980 something. Okay. Have you heard of the Black Pyramid
Yeah, somehow I don't remember
sighting in
what
the
it is.
80s? Okay, those weren't aliens. These were our descendants from like 50 generations down the way, and they came back to Earth in their Black Pyramid, came down saying, "You need to do something. You need to like stop the, you know, poisoning your environment, or we're not going to exist." And I was thinking, well, them being there proves that we did something at some point, and you did exist, depending on which timeline you're talking about. Because
Wouldn't they
are
Marty
we
McFly
talking?
it then?
That's what I'm saying. Are we talking about like Marvel time travel? Or are we talking Back to the Future time travel?
You'd have to think Back to the Future, right? Or I mean, I guess
No, because
you
Back to the
can.
Future would create a paradox to where it would go back. The only way that would work is in a Marvel time travel, and technically, we are
It's
now
a new
on a
timeline.
branch timeline.
Why wouldn't
I'm
they do
pretty
that for
good when it
everything?
comes to astrophysics
Yeah, but what
and
are you? Are
string
you?
theory, so that is the only way that that could work. Just use
Well,
common sense, Kevin. I mean, think about it. If they
then why
came
wouldn't
back and
they
said
keep
you have to
doing
be
it?
this,
Why wouldn't you just
that,
keep doing it?
but that's what I'm saying.
Why or
If
why wouldn't you make more of an announcement?
I'm going to start a college course called Common Sense Physics, and
Yeah, but why
here's what
wouldn't
it
you just
is.
like do more of a loudspeaker like tapping everybody's fucking television
No,
and
it takes a
tell
lot of power. You don't even understand time. You know how much, granted, it's free power, but you're like ripping a hole in the universe and
so
jumping
what they
around. You don't
talk
even
to
know.
who? What one dude, the president or something? I mean, come
Okay, when
on.
I start Common Sense Physics, you better be the first student because you need some learning, buddy. I'm just saying that here's the problem with Back to the Future time travel. It's all paradoxical, all of it. Because if you make a change, then you wouldn't have done it, so you wouldn't have gone back in time. Like Time Machine
Yes,
explains it perfectly. That's why he
no,
couldn't
I
save
agree
his
one hundred
wife.
percent. But hold on, because in Back to the Future, he didn't mean to go back to the time that he went to. So he just happened to go back to the time to where he met his mom and dad. Then he had to change things to make sure
But
they.
what about the butterfly effect? Not Aston Kutcher butterfly effect.
I don't know why can't the butterfly effect be because
What
he
I'm
did
saying
it?
is
I
like
mean,
the
why
chances of
can't it
making us.
be? Why can't it be? It's the same timeline, but it always happens.
But then something would have to cause it to happen.
And it always does.
But when he
The
leaves, it
same thing
hadn't
that makes
happened.
Doc Brown give him the car or whatever always happens, no matter what
He was running
timeline.
from the Libyans.
Exactly. So it doesn't matter. That always happens to where he always goes
Look,
back. It's
all I'm
what
saying
makes
is
everything happens.
those assholes came back
Did they?
and
Because that I
created
don't believe. Because I think if you're powerful enough to go and make and and go back in time and what say it to one person who no one's going to believe.
well, I don't know. I'm just
Who
saying.
do they? I'm just
That
saying. Who
kid,
did
I was
they?
surprised that
Who?
he put that in the documentary because I'm like, well, if they're us from the future,
Yeah,
obviously we did something.
we made
They don't
it.
need, we're good. There's
What do
no
they
need to do anything.
care? What do they care? They're in a timeline where it worked.
See, that's why it didn't make any sense to me. Now that's just a story. He wasn't saying like it was real or not, but he's like just saying this is a story, blah blah. I'm like,
I just don't
that's
get it
a
because
stupid story. Like, cause
that is
I
a stupid story. Because they're already there. They already made it. Why do they even have to go back?
see, I watch a lot of this shit, but every now
I,
and again, I'll be watching some of my stupid shows. I'm like, oh yeah, that's interesting. Because I watch it because I think it's interesting. But every now and again, they'll say something like that, and I'm like, why would you even put this in here? This is dumb. The pyramid people said you better stop, or I'm not going to exist. My first reaction, if I was those people, I'd be like, but you do exist.
you do exist. You're in your time. Why even go back? Like, I'm not going to go back to the Neanderthals and be like, hey, create
Or
fire.
possibly Charles Schwab is actually from the future and he's a bad guy. And they came back and they're like, hey, this like Bond villain talking motherfucker is going to come up here and say, you need to drink bugs and eat bark. And he's bad. And he's from the future. We're from the future too. And if you don't get your shit together, we're not going to be right. That's the only
See,
way that works,
doesn't make
Kevin.
sense. No, it doesn't. It still makes sense because the only way it makes sense is the Terminator timeline, to where the whole world went to shit. There was a fucking Judgment Day, and robots have infiltrated.
I hate to break this to you. There are only 2 timelines. Back to the Future, which is also Terminator, and every other
no,
time
Terminator is
traveling
different
thing.
because you can actually change it. I mean, it'd still be the same. Your timeline is still going to be the same, but you can also create a new timeline where it doesn't happen.
Kevin, do you not remember Hotel Del?
Well, I'm just saying, the only way you go back to the future, back into the past. The only way you go back into the past is if you're about to die yourself. Like if your civilization is about to die and you can change it. That'd be the only way you should do it. I mean, why else would you do it? If you're prospering, no one's like, hey, I want to go to the 1600s where there's a black plague and be like, hey, don't fucking, get bit by a rat.
Well, here's the problem with that, though. It's like, I could see if it was like, say someone half-ass figured it out, let's say 100 years from now. Okay, I could get that. But he's saying this is like 50 generations down the road. So I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah,
this dude just said we got 15 years. And now you're saying that we need to make the thing, but you're like 50 generations. Like, how many fucking years is that?
1,000 years?
Like, what are you talking about? You come back, hey, so there's going to be a meeting, and there's going to be like these Klingon-looking motherfuckers, and they do not like you putting your napkin on the left side of your plate. And it caused a solar system war, and we're dead. So remember, napkin on the right.
What if, and this is just hypothetical, an alien species came back, or like we came back and said, hey, this alien species really hates genitalia. So
maybe they already keyed some people in.
Destroy it and do what you have to do,
I guarantee you there'd be a ton
Say
of
it's in the name of progress because we need to have no genitalia in the future.
I guarantee you there'd be a shit ton of people. I don't know about shit. There would be a handful of people that did it.
Excellent.
Guarantee.
Let's just start a cult just to see if I could do that.
Called the Dejunkers.
Just to see if I can be like, you idiots. This is all a social experiment.
Welcome to the House of Dejunkers. Here's your complimentary Sith.
Well, I mean, I just don't get it. 50 generations away, they're alive. So what the fuck are they bitching about?
That's what I'm saying. It's too far out.
Yeah. If it's like 10 years in the future, yeah. All right.
Oh, shit. We went too far back. I meant to go back to yesterday and been like, hey, don't piss that guy off. It turns out real bad.
Oh, shit. Yesterday, 10,000 years, whatever.
That was the only part of the document. It is just funny because they're talking about some like fantastical shit. I'm like, oh, yeah, I can see that. Wait a minute. Pyramid, that's all bullshit. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, because that doesn't make any sense. Because
you need to find a way to share it so you can watch it and not have to pay the money I did. Like I said, I didn't dislike it. It just, I was expecting more. He built it up too much.
Oh, I know.
He raised the pillar of entertainment to the skies, and it barely touched the trees.
Not this episode. Maybe next. Not next episode, maybe the one after that. I'm gonna watch Nefarious here pretty soon.
Yeah, you need to watch it. That's a good fucking movie.
I think it's on Amazon now. So,
is it?
I think so.
To buy, or it's like on Amazon?
To buy or
That's
rent.
Steve Dace. He's so greedy. Buy my movie. Buy Built Bars. I like pumpkins.
Yeah, I think it's buy or rent.
No,
but
I'll buy it.
I want to watch it. I want to watch it. I want to do a little movie review on it.
We can do it.
Yeah, so
I love that movie.
Maybe we can watch
it's horrendous. It's hard to watch sometimes because, like, not horrendous as far as a bad movie, but so you'll see. There's some spots that dude deserves an Oscar.
The guy that was in Boondock Saints, right?
Yeah, Sean Patrick Flanagan or Flannery. Sean Patrick Flannery. If you watch it, you ask if I want to know if you agree. I think that dude deserves an Oscar for his performance in that movie.
I saw parts of it. And I thought he was awesome.
And that's not just because
where
I'm
he
trying
went from
to
himself and the demon.
Yeah, don't give it away, Kevin. Don't give.
Well, it's in the fucking
It
promos.
is in the promo.
Oh.
I haven't. I'm not doing this to
yet.
help Steve Dace out. I don't like that guy. He never responds to any of our messages.
No, and he's always about
Well, it's not necessarily him. It's his snarky little producer. I don't like him.
And they're always about, hey,
Was it
we
Aaron?
should be. Yeah. Actually, I listened to Aaron his AM update, which is pretty good. Basically,
No, I like his stuff, but he never answers our messages.
He doesn't answer.
You're
we
a real
try to give him
jerk,
free barbecue sauce, and he wouldn't answer.
Sorry, I don't like free shit.
Yeah, come on.
It was like free shit.
What if he saw our video and it was like one of the ones where we cuss a lot and we got drunk and?
Well, maybe that's like every episode. Wonder if he actually watched an episode and just decided that no.
Well, I mean, I can understand that. You know, they're very religious and stuff. I don't know if they.
But I don't understand it. Like that doesn't matter. Like, okay, I don't care what. If you're a company out there and you want to send us some free shit, and we'll talk about it. I don't care what it is.
I don't care if they said, "Hey, these guys are horrible." You know,
how cool would it be if Steve Dace came on and commented on one of our episodes and was like, "You guys are fucking stupid."
I would love that.
I would have that framed in like resin.
Fuck yes, anybody. Like, let's say Matt Walsh or fucking any of them. Like anybody. Like any. What's it? The Rubin Report guy.
Yeah, Mr. Carrying water for Ron DeSantis. I don't think we had enough time in this episode for any general discussion, but I do want to. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I do want to talk about like the whole. There are a lot
Trump
of people
got indicted.
Yeah, Trump did get indicted, and so I don't know. That might be what Kevin's episode's about. I don't know, but there's a lot of bullshit going on. I think this has gone on long enough. I think it's been a good episode. I don't think we have time for general discussion.
No, I think we've hit our limit.
Excuse me.
Jesus.
Excuse me.
Most time we mute ourselves.
I know. I didn't know that one because we're wrapping up the show. So I think we are going to wrap this one up. I'm not sure what next week's going to be about, Kevin.
Don't know.
He doesn't know.
Probably Trump's indictment. It's
going to be a surprise.
Probably Trump's indictment. If it's still a thing.
And what it means for the country moving forward.
What it means for the Republic.
But I think that wraps it up. I think it was a good, interesting episode. If you, and even though we didn't say like, subscribe, blah, 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 everybody knows if you like the video, you like it. Subscribe to it. Share with your friends. Tell your friends about us. But comment below if you like to do it. We might start a live show after, like the day after it drops or second day after it drops, just to like say, hey, that was a good show.
We'll call it the day after.
Shit. We're like half our own followers.
The Lost Art Common Sense, the day after.
The day after. So we might start that. But yeah, just drop a comment below. I don't even care if you say hi or you're dumb. Whatever. Just,
go fuck yourself.
Give us a little bump in the algorithm.
I
know we're supposed to do this at the beginning of the show.
Hold on. What was that? What was that meme that guy sent me? Like, click your heel 3 times and go fuck yourself.
Click your 3 times and go fuck yourself. Sure that. Even though we're supposed to do this at the beginning of the show because about 99.97% of viewers have dropped off by now. And because of that, this has been another awesome episode of Lost Art of Common Sense. Kevin, I'm Josh.
And I'm Kevin.
And this, once again, repeat myself because I forgot to do that part, has been another awesome episode of the Lost Art of Common Sense. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Common Sense!
Common Sense!
Common Sense! Aliens are among us!
Aliens!
I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you pointing at me?